So I think we have had extensive discussions. I'm sure all aspects of premium cataract surgery has been covered, but it's nothing is worthwhile if you cannot market it. And the last aspect that we are going to do is to how to ethically market this product, this wonderful product, and how to benefit, ensure that the patients and we benefit out of it. So it's not as if we have a very small base of customers who can offer these premium intraocular lens products. In 2015, it was thought that the population about quarter million middle class, and in 2025, it estimated it might be about 550 million. Maybe the corona would set back the timelines a little bit, but I'm sure we are going to bounce back. Many of these patients are paying 60, 70,000 rupees for the appendicectomy in a good hospital, and definitely they can spend this kind of money for the cataract surgery. Holidays, cars, mobiles, jewelry, eating out, conferences. People have the money to spend on this. Why can't they spend it on something that they need primarily to enjoy all these aspects, that is vision? So as far as you have the confidence, you have the ability to offer them the best of vision, and you promise them that, most often they would be takers for this. My experience with premium surgery happened almost 3 decades back when I was just starting out my practice. And this was a mother of the local collector, district collector, and they're the biggest people for a small district like Tirupur, where I started my practice. She was wearing -18, -20 doctors all along. And all I did was an intracapsular cataract extraction in both the eyes, all the time praying that I do not get a vitreous loss. Fortunately, things went well, and this lady was absolutely thrilled. She could get rid of her glasses. She said, "I never seen anything like this all my life." I myself could not understand why she was so happy, because the concept of getting rid of glasses and all was just not there at that time. But anyway, there's a lot of collateral advantage that I derived out of this initial experience. Fortunately, these collectors don't last in the same place too long. So she went away. I do not know what happened to her retina later on, but at least immediately she got an extremely uh, positive results and a positive feedback for me. And obviously, the reason I'm telling this is when you do premium intraocular lens, offer premium outcomes, it's going to have a very positive impact on your overall practice volumes also. The secret of life is honesty and fair dealing. Let me tell you, there is no multifocal intraocular lens which doesn't come without a certain amount of compromise as far as dysphotopsia is concerned. We buy vision for all distances using the currency of contrast. Basically, the amount of currency that we use might be a little less as we advance with our technology, but there is a price to pay, and that's the reason you have to counsel these patients, set their expectations right, let them know whatever you know about those lenses, what is relevant to them. At the same time, do not get into this mess about too much information syndrome. If you start talking to them from PMMA intraocular lenses to LRCS with toric multifocals, they're going to listen to all of it and go elsewhere for their surgery. So in the initial conversation itself, I encourage my counselors to get to know as to what exactly this patient is looking for and try to orient their entire counseling towards that. They're just not interested in multifocus. They're very happy with the glasses. They say, we hardly read, we cannot afford it. Then, okay, we'll give them an excellent vision and give them a pair of glasses. But then, if they are interested in a patient for a multifocal lenses, I would rather spend my time on deciding whether it's going to be a trifocal, a multifocal, or a multifocal toric, or a synergy. And just in case they're not fit for anything, then downgrade them to a monofocal intraocular lens. This is something that we should realize, and we must make our patients also realize. Whenever a patient comes to me wanting the best of lenses and tells me that, can you give me a significant reduction? I always tell them that you are paying for the price of the technology, price of the kind of service and the surgery that's being offered to you. Just in case you can't afford it, please downgrade yourself. Let me tell you, that does not mean that I'm not cognizant of the fact that we need to serve the poorer sections of the society. We have a full charitable hospital devoted to this. In my hospital, cost of a surgery, cataract surgery, costs anything from 0 to 1,75,000 rupees. So depending upon the what the patient's requirements are and what their ability to pay for it is concerned, we slot them in. Obviously, we don't never say it's never a rude no. Just because they're asking, we may offer a 3,000, 4,000 rupee concession. But in case they are expecting something more, we tell them why not go for a slightly lesser quality lens or a lesser quality technology, and this is also going to work quite well for you. It's extremely important that you analyze your results more than listening to these talks, reading papers. Once you look at your own results, that will give you a great idea. We have this habit of looking at our own results every week. Every surgeon gets an analysis of his intraocular lens outcome results. This is what I saw in 2006. This is a single day surgery for me. And as you can see over here, presbyopia is not even concerned. 2.75 is given to all patients. But you find that -2, -1.7, 0.75, etc. I was using a contact A scan and SRKT formula in those days. And this was perfectly acceptable results for me at that time, simply because the patient got good best corrected visual acuity. Come over to 2015 when I switched over to IOL Master 500, Holiday 2, the Varion, etc. Then again, near vision was less of a concern. I had already started using multifocal intraocular lenses. About 2 to 3% of, maybe 5% of my patients were getting that. As far as the uncorrected visual acuity for distance was good, then I was happy. The patients were also tailor-made to accept that. And when it come over to March 2021, when we did have a good volume of patients, one day surgical list of mine, as you can see over here, we still have a certain number of aspheric intraocular lenses being implanted, but majority of them go for multifocals, trifocals, etc. And what you find is that the uncorrected near visual acuity, intermediate visual acuity, distance visual acuity, along with the quality of vision, does matter. And you owe it to your patients, those who are demanding it, to have the wherewithal to satisfy their needs, and it's possible to satisfy their needs today. We have also made simple alterations like this. We want to mimic the real world. There used to be a glasses over here. There used to be a light over here. We are completely done away with that in all our refractive lanes, because we essentially want to mimic what the patient is going to experience in the real life. So it's a book over here. There's a cell phone over here. The lady is asked to go through both of them and see whether she's quite comfortable to do that. Also, I always believe that having a third option is a great idea. Most often I remember the olden days when we used to have a first class, second class, and the third class in trains. Maybe we could not afford the first class, but we often used to go by the second class. Similarly, when we had just the plano scan LASIK, it was always that. When the optics came up, there are not too many takers for that. When we brought in the femtosecond platform, then not only did our femtosecond numbers increase, but most of the patients went on to Xioptics, because they felt that if we cannot go for the higher end procedure, let me at least go for the second category. So that's the reason I find that having multiple options, our cost for a Indian multifocal intraocular lenses, which I think several good options are available today, is just slightly more than a imported toric intraocular lens. And just in case the patient wants to go for a lower option, but at the same time is interested in multifocality, we do not hesitate to offer them that. I believe this is a very important message, in that neither be the last person to adapt a technology, nor be the first person, because the technology has to mature. Today, I believe the multifocal and toric technology has completely matured. I think it's most important for us to realize that we are competing within ourselves. I showed you my own statistics of what I was doing in 2016, 15, and 21. I have no control over what is happening around me, what are the other hospitals doing, what machines they're acquiring, how excellent their surgeries are. What I am trying to aim at is improving my outcomes on a day-to-day basis. And as far as cataract surgery is concerned, offering premium cataract surgery is a great way to go. I think I'll skip this because I'm running out of time. That's just one way of making sure that my patients who have a complaint, I put a -2 diopter lens in front of them and tell them that if you have a little bit of dysphotopsia, what you are gaining is by near vision is extremely high. Always be an ally to the patient. When a patient comes to you with a complaint, it's extremely important that every patient of yours is satisfied, because if he or she is going around bad-mouthing you, she is going to not just keep multifocal patients away from you, but even monofocals, even a refractive error patients are going to stay away. So whenever a patient comes to you with a complaint, it's more of an observation. As far as you reassure them, tell them you can understand what their problem is, it's going to go away with time, and give them the confidence that you can handle it. They are going to accept it and stay with you. It's important that the multifocal lens is not just the lens that you're implanting. It has to be a great experience right through the procedure, right from the time of entry to the time of exit. It's not just the patient who matters, but the attendant also matters. It's not the 8 minutes that they spend under the operating microscope, but it's the entire experience which makes a difference. We have a significant number of patients coming into one of our centers from the Gulf, and here we have made a provision for a prayer room. And that is something which is very much appreciated by the patients. I think some of those patients choose our hospital just because this provision is there. So you have to meet their expectations. I believe premium products is win-win for all. It's enhancing outcomes for the patient, enhancing the skill sets of the patient and income for the physician. Once we started doing refractive surgery, we started realizing the importance of refractive accuracy in our cataract surgery patients also. And obviously, because they are doing innovative technology, it's enhanced turnover. So remember, is the procedure that's a premium. It's not the intraocular lens. It's not the surgeon. It's not the technology. It's the entire process that's premium. As far as you understand that and market it right, you will have an extremely good ride with this. Thank you so much.